We'll see. Anyway. Yeah, you're going to talk as well. Well, it is the Kibble watches collection, isn't it? It's the Kibbles collection. That's it. Hello, everyone. So, I don't even know how to start this. It doesn't matter. This is how we're going to do it. This is going to be the Kibbles collection. So, I did a collection video a little while ago, and it was just me, and it was just my watches. Since then, I kind of got married, had a baby, life changed in the most beautiful and amazing way. But what it means is a lot of my watches have been stolen by my wife, who got into watches. We'll talk about that. It also means she has her own collection, which has far more watches than mine, and they're cooler. So if I just did a video... Yeah, you have. I think you have. So if I did a video just my watches, it'd be really boring. So that's why. Leah is here. This is Leah Kibble. This is Isla Kibble. The soon-to-be CEO is smiling right now. Hopefully you guys can see that. And we're going to try and record this with as little cuts as possible. And we'll see how this goes. I really don't know how it's going to go. So, yeah, are we ready to go? This might be interruption number 1. We'll probably put a counter on screen. So, we are recording this at home with my daughter, as we've obviously said so far. So, I do apologise if there is loads of cuts. It's a Saturday. We're relaxed. This is our normal weekend. Not having all the watches out, that's for sure. And I do want to preface this with we don't have the watches at home. A very important thing we have to say. And we should probably start with who we are, because I know a lot of people come onto these collection videos and they don't know maybe who I am, or they're not subscribed. I mean, why wouldn't you be? Make sure you subscribe. But I'm a watch dealer. I run Kibble Watches, and you help out a lot. You run the eBay, so if you've ever messaged us on eBay, Leah is the one to scream and shout at you when you don't buy. Just kidding, she's actually way better than I am. So that is who we are, and that explains some of the collection. And it will also explain why, even if we were in a position, we would probably never own a load of Rolexes, a load of APs, and a load of Pateks, because we wouldn't be able to wear them. 1, London, crime, it's not nice. And 2, it's just not really our thing. And I think you're going to get into seeing what is our thing throughout this video. So how'd you get into watches? Where did it begin?
You.
Me. That's a good start. Well, you weren't into them before?
No, I don't think I ever owned a watch other than my Fitbit.
That's not a watch. That's not a watch.
I owned a Fitbit when I met you, and yeah, I thought a Rolex was about £200 at most.
If only.
Still seemed crazy for a watch for me then. Yeah, and then I met you. You had your watch business, and you started talking about the mechanical side, which really interested me. In fact, vintage watch is definitely my thing.
Yep.
Have a story behind, you know.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it was quite telling with the first watch I got you, which is the bespoke watch, which is the watch right there on the watch strap. Yeah, pick it up. I mean, I'm going to show overlay video anyway, but yeah. So this just you look at it, so you've got a reference point, so you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So what did you think when I gave you this watch? Honestly,
I wasn't sure.
This was
at
a
first.
good start, wasn't it? Bloody hell.
I don't know. It's obviously sweet. You gave me a watch. Had no clue what it was.
Nope. Still don't.
No.
But so the story with this watch is my watchmaker works on a lot of watches for us, and I used to buy these sort of quirky Art Deco things. It's the thing I love the most. And I bought this as stock, and I bought it super cheap. And it was just a mechanical watch. And whilst working on it, it had a spider dial. So for those of you that know, it was a bluey green spider dial, which is where the lacquer cracks. Now, as a lot of you probably know, when it cracks, it's not a good thing. The cracking it's literally damage. And whilst he was working on the watch and used the puffer to sort of clear any dust, a load of the lacquer came off and it revealed this silver underlying, and it basically ruined the watch. And I was just like, well, yeah, exactly. And I was like, you know what, that looks kind of cool. Take everything off. So the branding was gone. I can't remember what brand it was. All the lacquer's gone, and he did a little work on the movement. And I was like, you know what? I think this looks really cool now. And I wanted to get you into watches, and I wanted to give you something that I thought was cool.
I didn't even know you could wind a watch.
Well, there you go.
I thought they were all battery.
They're all battery. No, so this was like a gateway for me to get you into it, but also because you didn't really show any interest at this point in watches, I didn't know what you liked. So I was like, let me get you something I like, and this Art Deco crazy sort of rectangular thing. And interestingly, that watch you've enjoyed, you've worn, and you wore it for a very special occasion.
Yes, it's on a white strap because I wore it on our wedding day.
Yes, exactly, which is amazing, really, that the watch I gifted you as a gateway was the watch you wore at our wedding day, and at that point you actually owned a lot of the watches on the table because we got married not that long ago. Don't ask me when. It's on the ring, on the underside engraved for that reason. I'm terrible with dates. So that's how you got into it, and I think we should maybe backtrack to sort of my story and how I got into it. So for those of you that haven't watched my other videos or don't know, I got into it 7-8 years ago now. God, I'm getting old. And I got into it by buying Citizen Eagle 7s and Seiko 5s. I used to be able to find them on eBay for about £10 to £15. And that's where it began. I started buying loads of them, getting different colours and talking about them here on YouTube. And I ended up with about 50 of them, 30, 50, I don't even remember. All different colours, all different styles, and I realised, Jesus Christ, this is insane. So I said, they're for sale, message me if you want them. And I sold most of them at a profit. And I realised, ka-ching, both ka-ching as in like da-ding and the cash register, you see what I did there? And I realised there's a business opportunity here, and I really enjoy it, and I'm actually good at it. And that's how it started. And I actually still own a Citizen Eagle 7 right here. The first one I ever bought. Bought this for £13. Originally came on a Jubilee band, which I don't know where it's gone.
Expensive than the watch.
The strap is way more expensive. This is a Fears goat's leather, which I think suits the watch perfectly. I don't wear the watch. I probably wore it last time. I don't know. Have you ever seen me wear this watch? I think you have. I think you have wore it. And that's where it's interesting. Is like a married couple and like both being into watches. Obviously, I'm into it in multiple ways because of the business, but you've certainly got into it in that way as well. I mean, you often send over listings either on eBay or forums that you find and go, this is cool, what do you think? And it ends up being stuff we buy as stock, so lead buyer soon to be. But that's where it began with me, and I bought that Seiko Citizen, owned it, loved it, enjoyed it, and I think that was one of my first proper watches, and it really sparked an interest, and I think that's going to lead us on to maybe your next watch, which I'm trying to think of what it is. I don't even know. Was it that one?
It was.
God, we'll fly past that one pretty quick.
It was a joke.
It was a joke. So you, mathematician, you know all the math stuff, not basic math, which always amazed me. So give her like the most complex algebra thing that's like written on a whiteboard in a film. You could actually solve that. Sit there and work it out. Ask you a basic math question, and it just doesn't happen.
What a calculator's for.
Exactly. So the running joke was that, and you said you loved Casio because big Nico fan back in the day, you still are. God tier, all that sort of stuff. So I got you this Casio calculator watch as a bit of a joke. Have you ever wore it? I don't think
when
so.
you gave it to me.
Yeah, and that's it. Not really your kind of thing.
No.
But
it's
then
not very comfortable.
No, and you know what? It looks horrible as well. It's literally a calculator on the wrist. Sorry if you love that watch, but. We don't particularly like it, that's for sure. And then where did it go after that? Would it have been
Wittnauer, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't the Cartier?
No, this one was at Savile Row, do you not remember?
And we bought off Mr. T.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was the story with that one, do you remember? So Savile Row, what was that?
You had it as stock at Savile Row, because you bought it during Savile Row, when we were there. It's a long month.
Yeah. So we did a pop-up at Savile Row. This is back when I was still in my old office, so we didn't have the nice new office, which is now perfect for viewings and all that kind of stuff. The old office was horrible, tacky, pretty cheap looking. Didn't represent what we were as a brand, so we had an opportunity to do a pop-up at Savile Row at a coffee shop called The Service, which is a beautiful coffee shop. They've just reopened their new one, which I'm yet to visit. It looks amazing. We'll have to go and say hello to everyone. So we did that pop-up, and this is early in our relationship as well. So bearing in mind, this is still lockdown, 2020?
Yeah.
Is that right?
December
2020, so in and out of lockdown here in the UK. And we did that month at Savile Row.
Bearing in mind we only moved in November.
Yeah, so we were fresh in a relationship, really, still, because we moved in pretty quick after getting to know each other.
Yeah.
So throughout December, 7 days a week, the coffee shop was open, is that right? Or was it not open on a Sunday?
I feel like it might have been 6, but I'm unsure.
I can't remember.
It might have been 7, but I might have only done 6. I think you maybe did one on your own.
Maybe, that probably would make sense. So 7 days, I'm pretty sure, it could be 6, throughout the whole of December. And we had a little stand, we had all of our watches there, and we were there every day from open till close. It was a logistical nightmare, getting the watches back and forth for one, but also an exhausting month, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without you. It was amazing to have you there physically at the location. A lot of our customers got to meet you there for the first time. They already thought we were married. That's how we were, all the little bickering in between.
Yeah. I was still learning about watches then.
Yeah, 100%.
I didn't know anything before that, really.
But you've been a sponge in this industry, I've noticed, which is where you just sort of take in whatever you're told, and it's amazing, especially off customers. So that Savile Row, you sat with a lot of customers who know far more than I do, and you just listened and sort of asked them questions, which I found really amazing. A lot of salespeople don't have that humility to sort of go, I don't know about this, tell me about it, you know. And I thought that was amazing. So this Wittnauer, we bought it off a customer. It was actually his wife's, wasn't it? She was enjoying it and pulled out the crown or something. There was some story to it, I can't remember.
Yeah, definitely the dial wasn't sat in there properly.
No, there was a lot of things with this watch. It wasn't quite as it should be.
Yeah.
But
no, you had someone wanting to buy it already, I remember, because I was trying to convince you not to do it.
That's good, isn't it? Don't sell watches, yes.
Because early on I didn't want to tell you if I wanted a watch. It was very much, I don't know what I can and can't yet.
Yeah, now you just take the watches, don't you? Let's be honest.
Never.
So that watch was your first proper vintage watch that you chose. A square Wittnauer, again, very Art Deco.
I fell in love with it as soon as I saw it.
And I think you fell in love with Wittnauer. I think, you know, rather than trying to do this bouncing around, let's go through. So whilst we're on the Wittnauer, you had the square Wittnauer. What was the next Wittnauer you got?
One I don't have anymore.
Which one was that?
The record dial.
Oh yes, we bought you a record dial, so had record. I'll see if I can find a photo.
Absolutely loved the photos. Unfortunately, when it came.
This is the thing with vintage, and I think this is a really important thing.
Yeah.
Some vintage you really got to see in person. So this had a record dial, and it had what looked like black hands in the photos. To be fair, no disrespect to the seller, but the photos definitely weren't clear, and I think maybe done for that reason. Not gonna say that for definite, but I think so. And the hands came, the watch came, and the hands were like tarnished and rusted, and
the watch wasn't working.
No, and it was sold as working.
So
nightmare.
Unfortunately, while it was getting fixed, I fell out of love with it.
Which happens. Customers do that occasionally as well. It's frustrating when it happens, but I get it. You know, if you don't have that instant connection with a watch, you often struggle to get that connection. So you then moved on to that Wittnauer, and which Wittnauer was next?
And then I think you brought home the diver for me.
Was it the diver or was it the chrono?
No, diver was first, 100%. I'm
what was
pretty
that
sure
for?
that was Christmas.
Was that Christmas?
We just found out we were pregnant with Isla.
Yes. Yeah, so we did around Christmas time. We found out a couple of days before Christmas. Yeah. So I had already got you this, I think, as a Christmas present. It's a Wittnauer skin diver, 1960s, really gorgeous, like absolutely beautiful loom. And again,
we never do Christmas presents on Christmas.
No, we always give them early. We always give them early. So I remember giving you this, and I think I had told you could choose some strap tailor straps as well, like custom. But it came on this green one, actually. I think I
Wasn't that one?
Was it not?
No, this one's the one I got the custom strap
okay.
tailor.
So I don't know the stories clearly, but that's the one you got as a Christmas present. You absolutely love. You don't wear it very often, but when you do, I think it stays on wrist for a while.
I've worn it on a Ukraine NATO strap.
Oh yeah.
I've worn it on a Fears NATO strap.
You have, yeah.
But now it's on a lovely strap tailor.
Green suede strap. So that was for Christmas, and whilst we're talking about Christmas, that was a time where we both really sort of decided we were going to get a watch to celebrate the news that we hadn't told anyone yet. And we decided on yellow, didn't we?
Because we didn't know boy or girl.
No, we didn't know boy or girl, so yellow, universal. Well, most colours are now.
Universal.
Yeah, universal. This is it. It's the way to say it now, isn't it? PC and all that nonsense. But you got a Mecha Quartz, or whatever you call it, high beat quartz, yellow dial. I don't even know what brand it is. It's some Chinese brand. I think I got it off AliExpress. And you just really liked it. It was a little surprise.
Yeah.
And to celebrate, I got myself a yellow Christopher Ward. I had another Christopher Ward at the time. I decided to sell that one. I think it was a blue GMT, same case and everything, because this one came in from a very good customer. And I said, look, can I buy that as my, watch that will one day become Isla's? So Isla, you've got 2 yellow watches. I hope you like yellow. Otherwise, probably not going to like these watches, that's for sure. No. So then which Wittnauer was next whilst we're on the topic of Wittnauers?
So it was the chrono, which was my wedding / push present.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing. You had that as stock as well.
Yeah, so there's a theme here. Obviously, being a watch dealer, I get watches as stock, and sometimes I absolutely fall in love with them, and they never make it to the website, as a couple of mine we'll see in a little bit.
I fell in love with it. I sat out the back with it on my wrist so many times, which I didn't think you knew. So I wasn't ever going to say, because I knew it was too much, but...
Yeah, no. What is it? Do you know much about it? I think you do. What's inside?
Value 72.
And what's important about that?
It is Oh, I know it.
Caught you off guard. This is staying in.
I swore you can't keep it in.
I'll just blank it out. So,
It's
Varsity 72, pre-Daytonas,
I was
yes.
saying it.
Really
I
gorgeous
can never
watch.
remember if it's pre-Daytona or the Daytona, like old Daytona. So
No, it's amazing. So
pre-Daytona.
the Varsity 72 Wittnauer is a Wittnauer signed crown, movement, cape, everything. I've never seen one quite like it.
Sorry, I keep looking down here. Eyeless.
Yes, our daughter's down there looking at us, sort of asleep, sort of not. We're hoping she stays this way so we can get this video done. But yeah, really gorgeous watch. Occasionally I throw it on a different strap and wear it. This is the beauty of gifting watches to your wife or your significant other. Get watches that you also like, because then you can wear them as well. Obviously, there's some of your watches I would not wear.
I got two amazing Taylor straps for that, which
Yep.
work so well.
Yeah, you got the purple and was it the red?
The red, yeah. So the red that I've put on the other one.
And what's
now.
this other Wittnauer?
So I
Again.
don't actually know this one.
Well, no.
I just know it's
well,
a nice Wittnauer that you brought home one day.
Again, stock. I bought it as stock, and sometimes like these more affordable vintage stuff I bring home over a weekend to test myself on wrist. Like if I actually like the watch, like this one I absolutely love. Sort of brown strap. And I should have known. I mean, you love Wittnauers, you've had multiple, and instantly you just fell in love with it. You fell in love with the dial, the case, everything about it.
Clean and classic.
You wore that a lot at first.
Yeah.
So what often happens with you, especially now because of Isla, you very rarely wear your watches in rotation anymore. You wear something very
I don't wear the
reliable.
more delicate pieces.
Yeah, so you wear them very the more reliable, trusty pieces, which we'll get onto. So they're your Wittnauers. You have 4 Wittnauers, and you've got this lovely Nevada on the end.
Monstrosity of a strap that you call it.
Yes, it's a horrible strap. Bright pink rubber strap against a bright blue vignette dial or vignette.
Yeah. So this was one I took to test for you, even though it was new old stock when you got it from
Yep.
a good collector.
Yeah, I
You
bought.
bought a big collection.
God, how many watches was it? It was a lot.
Do not even know.
I can't remember. Nearly 100.
Must be. I think
Nearly
it was,
100 watches.
Yeah, 80, 90 watches.
Mostly vintage, a lot of new old stock stuff, some bits I kept. Is there anything in my collection actually from it? I don't think there is. I don't think I kept anything from it. Wow.
Maybe you did for a little while.
Probably, that sounds about right. So, and this was one of them. It has its Nevada bracelet. It has a box, I think, as well.
I wore it on a Blue Tropics for ages
You
in
did.
the summer. Like,
Yeah.
that was my summer watch, pretty much.
Pretty much.
It was, like, the dial, the indices,
Yeah.
everything about that
It's
watch.
absolutely
is
gorgeous. It's a really cool watch, and
so
again, it
comfortable.
was new old stock. You've definitely worn it. It's got a couple of scratches here and there for a situation of me being stupid.
Wasn't me? the
No,
first time?
I don't even remember what it was. I stepped on a box by accident.
On
This
one of
was in the
these.
box. Don't do that, guys. Don't put it on the floor whilst you're rushing around because there's a baby and doing other
And
things.
of course, he tried on my watches.
Yeah, exactly. Not mine. Exactly. I got away with it. So we've got in a really weird order. I do apologise. I'm going to try and make this work. Hopefully it's entertaining. And we're just going to keep going through the rest of your
Yeah.
watches. So this isn't in any order. Maybe we'll redo it again at some point and do it chronologically if that matters. I don't think it does. So what, Cartier? Should probably talk about
yeah,
that.
I got that over a year ago. That was a very big surprise.
And it was through no significant event or anything. So obviously we do all the Christmases, birthdays, all that usual stuff.
I think it's because I only had 2 watches.
So you would have had the Wittnauer and that rectangular watch.
Yeah.
And I bought this watch. I was doing some
I think
work.
I might have had a rotary with a crazy
Oh,
pink
God.
mother of pearl and
Yeah, and all the
cubic zirconias.
gold plated as well, I think, wasn't it? Or was
No,
it steel?
it was
Oh,
steel.
okay.
It was,
yeah.
yeah.
You went for a phase.
Just wanted every watch I saw. That
Yeah.
was cheap.
Exactly. And I was doing some work with a client, selling a load of watches, and this was one of them. I bought it off him at a very good price. He actually wasn't sure whether it was real or not, and neither was I at first, because the Cartier, these lady tanks, I didn't know an awful lot about. Turned out it was real. I paid him a fair price, and he was super happy.
It's also around my birthday. So
Yes, around your birth year, Cartier, as a lot of you know, you can't date exactly unless you've got...
around.
Yes, potentially there. Could be, could not be. But you've wore that watch so much. I think that's one of your go-tos in terms of like a classy...
Everyday watch.
Yeah, it's
I must
gorgeous.
say.
Absolutely
Yeah.
gorgeous. I love that watch. And again, it's... Selfishly, it was...
It's been to the shard.
Yeah, selfishly, it's one of those watches where I love the Cartier tank. I
Yeah.
think the Cartier tank on the bracelet for a lady is so perfect. I think it is the quintessential ladies' watch. So, selfishly, I wanted you to have that watch. It's like your engagement ring. I've always envisioned a solitaire, classic solitaire, platinum, a nice size diamond, and that's it. Again, classic, quintessential, timeless. The Cartier for me was that, so I've basically brainwashed you to like the same thing. It's worked really well.
Same with my necklace and earrings, which I'm not wearing because
Isla loves
this
little
break
diva.
them.
Yeah, honestly, she clearly like gold. That's what it is. I guess we're going to have to go on to the other two that are in the box. So, which one do you want to talk about next?
I guess we'll do the D1 Milano because that was definitely first.
Yeah.
I don't even remember why. You just saw it. I think you had one in maybe the blue steel.
Yeah, I had the gent size blue steel myself
and I
for
just
a little
loved the look of it. I guess
it's obviously
it's a way of looking like an AP, but without trying to be an AP.
Yes,
I think that's a nice thing.
And again, rose gold as well. So you've got a little bit of gold.
I wouldn't say
there.
I have a fashion brand watch, which I think that very much is.
I'd say so, but still built very well.
Yeah.
I think still respectable as well. You could wear that to actually, you have wore that, and a couple of collectors have come into the office and gone, "What's that? That's kind of cool," and been amazed by the quality. And I think prices are like under 200 quid, aren't they? Retail.
Yeah, we got that.
We got that very, very good. Yeah. So this is the thing. Some of these watches, they don't have to be expensive. They don't have to, as you can see from our collection. And then the final watch in your box, this watch, there was, oh my god. So tell the story. How did it go?
So I can't remember if you had one yourself. I think you did.
I've had multiple.
You got it in
yeah.
stock, and you had it yourself. And I was working in the industry somewhere. I won't say where. And I wore it the whole time I worked there.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved the watch. And I come back to the office one day, and he'd sold it. I didn't know it was for sale. I just presumed it was mine and his. But no, he decided to sell it without telling me.
Yeah.
So for months, maybe even a year, I was moaning at you for selling me his watch. Because every time we went to go buy it, it wasn't on sale, it wasn't worth buying.
Yeah, being in the industry, I'm so stingy for the most part. There's some exceptions, but I'm very stingy when it comes to paying full retail for stuff.
Especially when they go on sale so often.
Yeah, Seikos don't pay full retail. You can get them at discounts. So it just took a long time for this one to come up on sale. Did it even come up on sale? Did I just pay full whack in the end? What happened?
I think, it definitely got on sale, but only because, so you bought the one with the blue hands.
One with the blue hands? That
you wore, well, we wore it on our honeymoon, so you...
Oh, I bought a Presage? No, wait, hold on.
No, it was a paddy.
Oh, the turtle.
Turtle, that's
yes, I bought a paddy turtle for our honeymoon. Because I do this. I often don't. Do I have a Seiko? I don't think I do. Often do. Oh, I do. I often. There it is. Seiko divers. I enjoy them. I like them. They make too many of them, in my opinion. So I often like about 20 of them, and I don't want 20 Seiko divers. So I don't own any. And then when we go on holiday or we go somewhere where I'd prefer a cheaper watch that's screw down, reliable, I haven't got to worry about, I'll go out and buy one on sale. Which is a terrible thing, and I lose money every time on it. But
it definitely got mullered in the swimming pool.
Yeah,
because we actually wore our watches in the pool.
Yeah, we did like weirdos.
But that's just because we wanted to know the actual time.
Yeah,
you don't want to take your phone down.
No, and again, like especially me, when we go on holiday, if I have my phone, there's work involved. It never ends.
Just leave them alone.
Good idea. I'm going to clip that into a little GIF anytime someone messages me on a Sunday. I'm just going to send that, like, leave me alone. So, yeah, there you go. That's your watches in the box. Now, watches outside of the box. And don't talk about the shared. So we'll get onto these in a second. That's yours, the MoonSwatch.
That's not mine.
No, but you like it more than I do at the moment. Yeah. So, what's the one on the NATO strap? Got to check.
An LLB.
LLB, which is a retailer of watches. It's very much like a Hamilton car key from the same period. And this was a gift from one of our clients, actually. Mr. Hoover, you know who you are, absolute legend. And he gifted this watch to you.
I do like it. I know I had to check, but...
I don't remember the names of the watches. Yeah. And
it's
I know.
Hamilton thingy.
Don't worry, Hoover didn't think you would like it anyway. He was a bit unsure, so I think he was pleasantly surprised, as was I, that you actually really like it.
With Isla.
Yeah, you haven't got to worry about it. It's one of those, and it's. I think it's got like some GMT thing that doesn't work. I don't know. It's just a cool looking watch. I actually think this was going to be one of the ones that everyone sort of universally goes, "That's nice." MoonSwatch.
MoonSwatch.
Yeah, we got 3 of them.
I
So
love it.
we'll talk about all 3. I am working on a video. I have a customer sent me 4 fakes, which I'm going to do comparison videos with. So that will be coming. So that way you guys know what you're looking for. But we have 3 MoonSwatches between us. I have to check, Mission to Jupiter. I love that colour. I have Mission to Pluto on a Fears strap, Oxblood, which matches it so perfectly. And you have
Mission to Venus.
Venus, yes, in the pink, because you wanted it, and we finally got it. Do you like it?
It's very comfortable.
Yeah, you prefer it on that strap? I had a customer in yesterday saying he hated the strap, which is quite interesting.
I love the strap. And to be honest, it's kind of itched my Speedmaster itch for now. And I know, don't get it if you want a Speedmaster, like, it's not a Speedmaster. It's a swatch.
It's a plastic watch.
It's definitely a swatch.
But it's fun, right? I mean,
yeah.
There isn't a pink Speedmaster with a pink case.
No.
So even if you wanted that look, you can't get it.
And it's so light.
Yeah.
Whereas Speedmasters are quite heavy.
And again, if you absolutely like whacked it against a door and broke it, or Isla pukes all over it to the point where it can't be cleaned and it's ruined, it's not really the end of the world, is it, with a watch like this? I know it's a lot of money, and that's probably a terrible thing to say with everything going on in the world right now, but in the grand scheme of watches, and a lot of you guys and girls will understand that.
Yes.
And that moves us on to the Casiokes, as they're called. We both have one.
Got those when we went camping.
Camping, yeah. Oh God, never again. Now I've got the car.
We are
it'll be a
going
lot
camping
easier.
again.
Don't go camping where you got to take everything on a train. It was the most stupid idea.
And then walk from the train to the campsite.
Yeah, no, never again. Now I've got the car for sure. So you've got is it pink? Like, what is it? Salmon? I don't even know.
I don't even know.
I think it's discoloured over time, to be honest.
The story with that is you had a yellow one in.
I did.
And
I had a yellow
fell in
one.
love with it. You sold it.
Yeah, because I didn't think... I'm not a big fan of Casio. I get it.
To be fair, I was in
they're
a
not my
big
thing.
Nico stage at that point. You know, watching him every day, pretty
Yeah,
much.
when you met him, you shook.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, she was shaking at the London Watch Show. Bear in mind, I'm at the London Watch Show with a stand as a watch dealer. No care. But Nico comes along.
I was at the London Watch Show.
You were at the
stand.
London Watch Show. I know.
So, excuse me.
Oh, yeah, sorry. But no, love you, Nico. But yeah, it was quite kind of funny.
So then you bought me the yellow one off of eBay, I believe.
Yeah.
Didn't work. None of us could set it. We even took it into a Casio.
It was probably a fake, I don't even know.
It didn't work. So we just...
What did I do? I throw it away? I gave it to someone for their
I thought you
kid.
put it on eBay again.
No,
I don't know,
I think I gave it to
maybe.
someone for their kid. I think that's what happened. I
I've
can't
not a
remember.
clue.
But then we
It's
went...
probably still in your office.
Probably somewhere, yeah. Good luck. If you're looking around the office right now, hope you find that yellow G-Shock. Let me know. But yeah, we went into the G-Shock store, I think, didn't we? And we bought these.
Yeah, we did.
In, what's it called? Carnaby Street? Is it Carnaby Street?
Yeah, oh, I loved that.
Yeah,
That
this was when we were just out enjoying ourselves. I think we went to
In the
Swatch
summer.
first, and we got 2 swatches, and then we went to G-Shock and got 2 G-Shocks.
We do still have the swatches. They're just...
I think so, somewhere.
We don't
Who
wear
knows?
them. We're going to sell them.
Is it worth selling? Probably not.
Yeah.
So we got these. I've got a grey one.
Give someone a good deal, right?
Yeah, of course.
Exactly.
I got the grey one. I don't know how to use it. I don't even think I wore it at camping. I bought a Seiko, didn't I? Do you remember? I bought an Alpinist.
We both wore them there. 2 days in, we went into town and bought another watch because we didn't want to wear the same watch every day.
Yeah.
So yeah, you bought that, and I had the
It's a Presage,
Presage
ladies
cocktail
Presage, which we don't have.
with
So
the light blue dial.
we've had a lot of watches in between this. It's terrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, we enjoyed that. We never wear them. The other watch, the final watch that's sort of yours, is the Islander. Islander with a full loom dial.
Yes.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's just because you brought it home in this amazing case.
Yes. No plugs. Available at kibblewatches.co.uk.
Yeah, he gave me the case, but put a watch in it.
So you're brilliant at this. You should do like our ads.
No.
You know, it would be great.
Definitely not.
But
So I basically said I was going to keep it.
yeah, no,
He
it's
gave
fun.
it to me.
Yeah, I mean it's still sized to me, so we need to sort that out.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
these Islander watches, I've been wanting to try one for ages. So
Isla's even had it on wrist.
she has, yes.
Insert photo here.
Exactly. I know, you're giving me loads of editing. I hate you for this. I hate editing. But yeah, I've always wanted to try one of these. I got one in, and I'm very impressed. I think it's great. So before we get on to my watches, we'll talk about the big shared watch in the centre. So to celebrate the birth of our daughter, we had an idea where we wanted to get a very special vintage watch. We were looking at gold watches, we were looking at AP, Vacheron, potentially Patek Calatrava. Again, under the sort of £6,000-7,000 price mark was where we were looking.
We had a lot of free time in hospital.
We did. It was insane. We'll talk about that another time. So we were looking at watches, deciding what to have, and we'd settled on a couple that we thought were really cool. And then the sort of realization here is that we would never wear this watch, because the whole point of having a baby is that everything sort of becomes about the baby, rightfully so, and it's evolved around them. So we decided we need a modern, reliable watch. So let's buy something that was released in 2022 and bought in 2022 to celebrate the birth of our daughter. And we both absolutely loved the Ranger. I think we both really liked it, more so that a lot of people were giving it so much shit online, saying it was a rubbish watch, boring, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but a lot of people speak without seeing.
And it was the first time we went into a boutique
yeah.
and actually bought a watch.
Yeah, I bought that at retail. Sat in the boutique, pretended like I didn't know anything, because I always worried. I'm always worried that, like, once I say I'm a watch dealer, they're like, get out, we hate you. You ruin our industry, because they don't like pre-owned watch dealers for some reason. Especially Tudor, my friends. So this watch we bought.
We got one.
I know. Inside story. I'll never. Maybe one day I'll be able to talk about it. But
No.
So this Tudor Ranger, I think it's fantastic. I wore it a lot at first, because obviously you were in labour. You didn't really wear it. I bought it before Isla was born, I will add.
Did I wear a watch?
No, I don't
Cartier,
think so.
I think, for a bit.
Yeah, but I think you ended up not wearing a watch.
Yeah.
So we bought that watch. We both absolutely love it. However, I've not wore it in about 3 weeks, because it's sized to your wrist. And you have definitely wore it way more than I have at this point, which is great.
Until Isla decided to add her mark to it.
Oh yes, did she? Nice. You those of you out there with children know exactly what that means. But no, really great watch. Absolutely love it. It's a shared watch, so we both enjoy that. I don't know if it will one day become Isla's. I don't think that was the point. The point was it was to celebrate her birth, and these yellow watches are hers.
She wants it, she can have it.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of that. I think she's going to have more watches. The next episode might be with Isla's collection as well. You never know.
Maybe. Start with the tickers.
Exactly, yeah. So we'll move on to this watch, because this is a San Martin. I bought this because I was going to do a comparison with the actual Tudor and talk about, is this worth it for $250? I don't know how much these are. However, it came, and the bracelet, my God, the screws in that bracelet, the threads were ruined. So I've been unable to actually get the bracelet sorted. My watchmaker can't even get it out. We had to break one of the screws, and it's left the actual end of the screw in the thread. I cannot do anything about it. So I need to figure out what to do. Whether I just do it on a strap, I don't know. I kind of hate the watch now. I want to throw it in the bin. So don't buy one. That's my advice. There's the review for that. And then let's move on to some other watches. Oh, I don't have a watch with me. My other Zenith Defy. So I have a Zenith Defy that I bought. Well, actually, the story goes way back.
Basically the one with the big story.
The one with a big story. So I was gifted a watch, and it was a Hamilton khaki, I think. And great watch, love the watch. However, that person is no longer in my life. And I decided to get rid of that watch for obvious reasons. And I did a trade for the Zenith Defy that I'll put some photos on screen of, so you know what we're talking about, because I don't have it here. And I did a trade for that watch. This was at a time where I wasn't in a position to really keep watches I was getting in a stock, but I loved it. I absolutely adored it. I spoke so highly of it. I think that's why it sold so quick. And I sold it. And then I bought the watch back months later, probably 6, 7, 8 months later, because the person wanted something else. Again, still wasn't in a position, so I sold it again. And again, about a year later, it finally comes back again. And this time I'm like, I'm keeping this watch. Because this watch I technically got for free, because I did a trade with a watch that was gifted. I made on it twice, and now I've got to own it. So I've owned that watch for a very long time. It's had a full service, a new crystal. I did the thing you should never do with vintage, which is I had it completely refinished. But my God, it was so worth it. It looks amazing. And that watch is actually with my dad right now. He's enjoying it because I stole his Speedmaster to enjoy for a bit. Occasionally we do a little watch swap, which is quite fun. So that watch isn't there. But I do have another Zenith Defy, and I'm going to start so backwards with my most recent acquisition. I often do this. I come home.
Is that the most recent?
I think so. I often come home with new watches, don't I, and just sort of slip them into the watch box, see if you notice. So this is one of my latest.
No, it's because I say yes.
Yeah, exactly. You're worse than I am. So this Zenith Defy is essentially a new old stock 1970s Zenith Defy. It came with its box. It's on this super interesting bracelet. I've never seen this reference before, and I just had to have it. And when you saw it, you loved it as well. I think you're really into this sort of quirky, funky stuff as well. So that was one of my most recent acquisitions. And again, I love it.
Quirky, funky, but vintage.
Yeah, exactly. And I do have to say as well, like, we often buy other watches, we sell a lot of watches. There's very few watches that will stay in the collection. We'll talk about that after as well. I'm going to try and fly through mine fairly quick. And then where shall I go now? The Fears. Should we talk about the Fears? Let's go on to that. So I own one of 5 Brunswick Browns. I had the opportunity, like everyone else, waiting to try and get one. So the story is, we stock Fears at Kibble Watches. I'm friends with Nicholas, and I've wanted a Fears for a long time, the Brunswick. I was really after the blue. I wanted the blue. That was the one I wanted. And Nick was like, just hold on a minute. There's something coming. I think you'll prefer it. Now, obviously knowing what I like, my sort of dress style, I'm very casual, as you can see. I don't wear suits. I don't really do any. I mean, I did for the wedding, but other than that. So the blue can be a bit formal. I think you totally tone it down, but it's a very formal watch. And he said, there's something coming which I think is going to be more your style. And he was totally right, the brown. I'm very honoured to be one of the 5. I love the watch. I wear it a lot. It's paired on a strap tailor suede. When I finally put it on one of those, it never came off. I think it's my 3rd one through many situations of ruining the suede or whatever it may be. So that's the Fears that I own. So it cut as I was talking because the camera overheated. We thought it'd be Isla who's doing all the interrupting, but it actually turns out it's the camera. This is what happens when Danny's not here doing all the video as he does. So yes, I was saying about this one, I've not got around to doing the video. I probably never will, but it's a really cool watch. I wear it from time to time, and yeah, it's just a fun watch. I think you've wore it actually as well because it's on a short strap at the moment. So that's the Fears, and then where should we go? We spoke about the Christopher Ward because we said about the yellow watches. My Mido. So I absolutely love Mido. Anyone who's followed for a little while, Isla loves Mido as well, apparently. Will know I love Mido. I've owned multiple. I will continue to own multiple. This is a watch, potentially a prototype, potentially a rare, I don't know, but it's a Central Seconds black dial from the late 1940s, which is very, very rare to have something like this. Really cool secondhand, and 35 millimeters. So this design, this style, you will see a lot, but in like 31, 32. So I often get people go, oh, I found your Mido, and they send it me, and it's the smaller case size. Still never seen a 35mm, and again, there's some very well-known collectors out there of Mido who have never seen this as well, and it's a Francois Bourgeois case, as you'd expect. I just love this watch. I don't wear it as often as I should, again, paired on a very nice strap. And the story with this one, I was going to sell it because I needed to do some work in the office, I think it was. I can't remember. So this was going to hit the chopping block, and a very good customer, Steve, if you're watching this, was insanely generous. He bought the watch and he said, perfect, now keep it. And he gifted it back to me.
I didn't want him to sell it.
I mean, that never happened. So thank you so much, Steve. This is a watch that's going to stay in the collection forever, obviously. It's never going to leave, and I am going to cherish it. I should wear it more. Now we're getting to winter. I wear my vintage more in winter for some reason, even though it rains. Probably not a good idea, but I do.
The barber covers it. The
barber covers it, exactly. So I absolutely love that watch. That's my Mido. Citizen-wise, we spoke about my first ever Citizen. I have another Citizen here. This is a Crystal 7. Funky case, funky date, funky everything. This was actually my dad's watch. So in the video with my dad, if you haven't watched it, go check it out. We spoke about the watches he sold to get his Speedmaster. There was like 30 of them that we ended up selling. And I kept a couple for myself. This Citizen being one of them, and another Citizen that is in repair, that will probably be in repair until I'm an old man. John, if you're watching this, you know what you like.
Better, so come on.
Exactly. Both really cool. It's paired on a strap tailor strap, apparently. When did I do that? Well, there you go. This strap is worth way more than the watch, but really cool looking watch.
Seems to be a theme with your watches.
Yeah, it is. I like my more affordable watches, and I put very fancy straps on them. There you go. We've got the real boss in now. Oh, that's it. Which watch you getting? You going for the Wittnauer? Yes, she's wearing Kibble Watches merch. Available at... No, it's not really. Someone got us that as a gift, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Look at it. Oh, doesn't she look cute? That's the real boss. She's telling us, work quicker, work faster. That's it. Which watch do you want? It's the yellow one at least. Let's see if we can keep this going. So, where should we go? Where should we go? We'll go on to this, the Mayen Mine. I don't know how you say it. This is the Mine Hudson, Mayen Hudson. Another good customer bought this in to sell, and I have a little brother called Hudson. He actually watches the video, so there you go. Shout out Hudson and Sienna if you're watching this. This is going to be your watch, little dude, once he's a bit older. It's his name. And I actually really like the watch. I bought it just because it was called Hudson, and I think it looks nice. But you know what? I put it on wrist, and this is a very well built, very good looking watch. I should probably wear it actually a little bit more until Hudson's old enough to have it. I'll enjoy it. That's how it goes, right? Yeah. But yeah, that will be a gift. So that's in my watch box. Cool watch. Highly recommend it. A watch that I have owned and sold and bought back. And funny enough, I saw it on eBay. Or you saw it on eBay, I can't remember. It was on eBay, and I messaged the guy I sold it to. I'm like, is that the watch on eBay? And he said yes, and I said let me buy it back. But this is a Gekota jump hour. I love jump hours. I love the design of this because I personally really want a Breguet in the collection. Do you want it? Yeah, there you go. Don't lick it.
No licking watches.
No, not the vintage ones. Might have radium. No, not good.
That's how I got mostly into watches as well. Listening to your and John's Wednesday night.
Oh God, yeah.
Talking about watches.
Yeah, we used to do a live
Dirty
stream.
Dozen and all that.
Yeah,
That's
with the vintage.
all I remember.
Yeah, me and John at Antique Watch Company. He owns the shop below our office. Isla used to like him as well, apparently. We used to do those videos every Wednesday and sit there and drink an unnecessary amount of wine and beer, or cider back then, and Isla doesn't like the fact of drinking wine and beer, apparently. All right, Isla's having a little moment, so Leah's just dealing with that for a second, whilst I try and get through the last of my watches because we've got a long weekend ahead. I hope you guys are enjoying this video, because at the end of the day, it was a video we've been wanting to do for a while, and it was just a case of trying to find the way to make it work, but also I didn't want it to be too formal. This isn't part of our Collector's Corner series. This is just my collection and my wife's collection and just our stories, really. But yeah, we were talking about the Gekota. I love Breguet, I love jump hours, so this just made so much sense. Gekota were very kind to find one for me. They had one left in storage because the watch had long sold out. So I bought it, and then I can't remember what happened, but I did sell it, and the person I sold it to, then 6 months down the line, quite a while down the line, I decided to put it on eBay, and I messaged them. I'm like, hey, if that's the watch, send it back, I'll buy it back, no problem. We came to a deal, and I bought it back, and it's in the collection. I don't think I'll be letting that one go again. I absolutely love it. I think it's a really cool watch. Now we're going to go on to another cool watch. There's a bit of a theme here. I like my cool watches. This is another potential prototype. This is a Timex. Now, again, jump hours, I love them. This has a rotating disc. So this was Timex's answer to the jump hours of the 50s, 60s era. The jump hours often were very difficult to make. The movements were not very reliable. They were just overly complicated and were actually fairly expensive for the time, considering the low quality of movement because of the complication. So Timex, by the looks of it, decided to trial something a bit different. Central seconds, and the hour hand, instead of an hour hand, it's on this disc, and this disc rotates around to sort of show the time. Really clever way of doing it. And again, the reason I call it a potential prototype is I cannot find another one out there. I've spoken to many people about this watch, and no one has ever seen one, seen one for sale, seen one on a collector's wrist, nothing. So I think this may be one of the only ones. And if you have any information or you know anything about it, let us know. But again, you know, this is what I love about collecting, for me personally. Selling watches, you know, we've had the privilege of selling many Rolexes, FP Journes, vintage Audemars Piguet, like you name it, we've probably handled and sold it at some point. Whereas for my personal collection, I like stuff that's just different, that's unique, and so does my wife. And I think that's where it's fun, you know. I can go into work, sell an FP Journe, and have a Timex on my wrist. I kind of like that. I think it's enjoyable. And that leaves, I think, the final watch on the table, a watch that probably will be sold soon because, again, I just never keep these kind of watches long unless it has sentimental value. But that is my Seiko SKX 007 Black. I've owned one of these many times over. I actually made a video probably 4 or 5 years ago talking about why I sold my SKX, the first one I had. That video went very, like, it had like 50,000 views, I think, and a lot of hate because people were like, why did you make this video? And looking back, it's a very poorly made video. But you know what? It's a cool watch. It's enjoyable. And I don't really have to worry about it. And I've got it paired on this fitted rubber strap, which means when Isla is on one and she decides to puke all over the watch, I haven't got to worry because this will survive. And if it didn't, I'm not really that fussed, that's for sure. Let's see if we can keep her happy just whilst we finish this up. So, we've spoken about our watches, we've shown you them, we've told you the stories related to them, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I mean, what watches are the ones you're never going to sell from your collection for, you know, sentimental reasons or whatever it may be?
I don't know what it is.
The rectangular one? Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Bloody hell. Hey.
Hopefully my Wittnauer chronograph. I'd love to keep that forever. And my Cartier. I think if I had to have 3 cool watches, that would be the 3. But
yeah, and the Tudor Ranger as well, obviously, our shared one.
That's ours though. That's not just mine.
Oh, darling. Okay, I think she's getting hungry, so I'm going to whiz through this. In terms of, for me, my Zenith Defy, the one that's not with me at the moment, my Fears Brunswick, my Christopher Ward, Mayen, a few others, yeah, for sure. I think we're going to end it there because I want to get this. Oh, she's laughing now. She knows what she's doing. Are you bringing this video to an end? She's like, I'm bored. No one's going to watch all this. This is way too long. But yeah, there may be a change up in the collection. We've been playing around with the idea of selling a load of stuff and getting something a bit bigger, like a Breguet or something. She agrees, Breguet. That's what she just said, didn't you? Let's go get her fed. I hope you all enjoyed this video. We'll see you all again next time. Toodaloo. Say goodbye. That's goodbye.